The jungle in here. All right, this is my hello from Central Virginia. This is my hops tunnel that has been overtaken by Passionflower Vine. All of this was an experiment that I started a couple of years ago to see whether A, I could grow hops, and B, whether I could get a Passionflower Vine going. And the answer to both of those questions is absolutely yes. Now, the problem here is that this Passionflower Vine is way too vigorous. I am going to be cutting this back like I did last year, and it will come back next year. But my hops, which is growing down here and up this side, I am going to move. And that's the project that I have today, to move these hops over to the other side of the garden where they're going to have their own little place in the sun. So let's go ahead and get to that. This is the hops plant. You can see it's dried. This plant has now gone dormant. It's a very deeply rooted plant. It's going to take a little effort, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. I'm going to dig up the root ball, and then we're going to move this to its new location. And this beautiful passionflower vine will be allowed to live in this arch trellis all by its little self. The oregano will stay here, and I might even allow that lemon balm to take over, so I have a nice area here with lots and lots of different kinds of herbs to hopefully keep away vermin. Like, what are my favorites? Voles.
What are you doing?
I am clipping some of this out of my way because I'm tired of it. But ultimately, I'm going to come back and really trim back this vine. But let's go ahead and cut out the base of the hops. It's right here as well. Boy, that oregano plant smells so good. That's oregano.
Can almost smell it through the camera.
They should be able to smell this oregano. It is so... Can you smell it where you are, Sage?
No.
Come here so you can smell it. You're filming. I know you're filming. Camera person.
An important job.
You do have an important job. Trick is going to be not to get too much of this oregano plant out, but we might have to sacrifice the oregano. Although it's so vigorous, it's going to keep growing no matter what. All right, I'm just going to go down as deep as I can. This is going to have super deep roots in it. We'll get what we get, and I think we'll be able to transplant it just fine. All right, I think it's coming now. Wow, that's quite a root system on there. Okay. Oh, wow. Well, since you can grow hops from just small roots like this, and when I planted them, the roots were about this big. I have no doubt that this is going to continue to grow, even if I cut this main root off, which is going to have to happen, I think. Look how big it is. This is a 2-year-old plant. Unbelievable. Okay, we got hops.
Oh, I'm craving an IPA.
This afternoon, darling, you can have an IPA. We can actually split this and plant 2 plants. This would be just fine. Oh, this is the southern corner of my garden. What am I thinking? This is the south, right there. And I have planned out to put another arch here, a cattle panel arch here, in line with the others, roughly. And this will be a nice place where the hops can grow all by itself, unperturbed by anything else. And hopefully it'll throw some shade on there, but it won't be too much, particularly during the growing season, because this is the south and it's going to be coming down straight. So what I'm just going to do is dig a hole in here. This is where the trellis is going to go. You can see I've got it marked off with some various things. And I had wanted to move these earlier in the season, but honestly, it was so warm, the plant didn't go dormant. And you need to wait till it goes dormant before you can move it. So, or it's less risky. And that just took a long time. And then it went from being too warm to too cold, and everything froze over. It's frost hardy. And it's dormant. We're also going to cover it with some nice mulch. And it definitely is frost. I mean, hops Hops grows where you're from in Austria.
Oh, on the side of the train track.
Of course it's frost hardy. If it grows on the side of the train tracks in Austria, it sure as heck is going to survive the winter in Virginia.
Oh, what kind of hops is it?
This is called Cascade hops, which is a fairly widespread hops. Hops is better in the more northern climes because it's subject to various mildews and things like that. It's the only hops that I'm growing. I started with 2 roots 2 years ago, 2 growing seasons ago, and both plants grew. And then during the winter, the voles ate the roots of one plant, which did not make me a happy camper. These are the roots, obviously. This is the main taproot. These are the little buds of the hops plants that will actually, so we're going to, look at all those.
So maybe you want to split it.
Well, I already have.
Oh, I didn't
Let's see. I've got this one too.
Split it a few more times so you have multiple.
Yeah, well, this is a pretty good size one. I'm going to leave this one as is, but then we'll plant this one. And maybe I'll put this one actually on the other side.
What was it? Kentucky ale?
Kentucky Common.
Common ale. That was pretty good.
Yeah, he makes a decent beer. The man's got some talent. Okay, let's see how this here taproot does now. I will also put some compost in here, and then we'll cover it up with some good hay. Okay, I have some compost, and I'm just going to put it around both of the things that I have planted. Fill this in with compost. Fill this one in with compost. Get it good and covered. You'll notice I've got some cardboard here. I'm going to end up cardboarding and mulching all around these plants so that we don't end up with grass and weeds and things that we don't want. Plus, the mulch will keep them nice and cozy for the winter, although they're pretty darn hardy. All right, let's go get some cardboard. All right, now I'm just putting down cardboard around this where the path is going to go and on the sides to keep any kind of weeds out. We will be putting down some, ultimately we're going to put down some wood chips here too to really seal this path. But right now I just want to keep the things from growing during the winter. When I have a chance, I'll go get the tractor and get some wood chips. So when you're putting down cardboard like this, you want to make sure that you have no gaps and holes because weeds will find their way. I promise you. It's good to overlap it. Ultimately, the worms will devour this cardboard and it'll help become really, really rich soil. So you don't have to worry about your hops. They're going to grow. Believe me, the hops will grow. I'm putting this cardboard down where the arch will actually be about here. I'm putting the cardboard on the outside too to prevent weeds from encroaching. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is extend that bed out here. Then I don't ever have to worry about mowing that. It'll be growing space. You can always have more growing space, right, Sage? The final task was just to cover up the planting areas with a nice layer of rotting hay, and that is to provide a nice mulch. So now we have our hops transplanted, and next step will be to wood chip this path. Later, probably before spring, I'll go ahead and purchase another cattle panel and stick that in. I'll make sure to show you how that's done. Anyway, I hope you're well. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay, this is great. That's a task that's been meaning to get done for a while. Don't forget to subscribe. Good idea.